What's up, powerful people? My name is Eli, you can call me Super Kid, and I'm here to welcome you to part 25 of Disco Elysium here on Super Kid Plays. Powerful people, if you're excited for this episode, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, leave any comments you have for me in the comment section, and share this video with anyone you think might like it. Real quick, powerful people, this episode and the one coming after it, I already attempted to record. There was some issues. Long story short, we have to do it over again, so apologies for that, but here we are making the best of it. Now, let's head out of here and talk to our new friend upstairs that we met right there last time. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Truly, I do. What is that? I can't see it from here. Through this dark and dusty corridor. There's the security screen. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. The floorboards creak. Postcard, La Delta 51. Alright. Let's put the flashlight away. For our increased suggestion. Damn, it's dark in here now. That's wild. There we go. Not in here, though. Alright. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Oh, one real quick thing I want to get out of the way, powerful people. I've been saying stuff like, oh, I'm going to be a communist, I'm going to be this kind of cop, this kind of cop. I'm just going to have fun playing the game. It's kind of difficult to remember every single thing I decide I want to do every single time I play it, so we're just going to keep having fun. Sometimes
Hello.
I might say
I'm Nia.
capitalist things. I'm Nia. A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair. I pointed this out last time, but this portrait is gorgeous. It reminds me, I think it's called A Girl with a Pearl Earring or something like that. I think it's by Rembrandt. It's a very, very famous painting. I think even if I got the name wrong, you can probably find the one I'm talking about. Even if it's not even by Rembrandt, you probably could find it. This is just a beautiful picture. Look at the lighting, the colors. I love everything about it. She looks very sad. Great stuff.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius.
Okay.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Hold on, what do you mean by milieus?
Yes, a milieu is like a calling station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
No. As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong. Nice. Role-playing games? Do you know the one made by Fortress Accident? Does that count? Or you know the one made by Fortress Accident? That's true, I do. Maybe, no. I was looking for something else. Answers.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. How did you become a dice maker? How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Do you like role-playing games yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers. They're nice people. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing really. I didn't know him. The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening? I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try and come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. And you never took your eyes off the work? Took your eyes off the work to look out the window? I might have, she admits, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. Good call. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. How often do you work Sunday nights? Or do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home. Okay, so I guess you do often work Sunday nights? Is that your answer? I see. Thank you for your answers. She nods. Anything else, officer? Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Creative. The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses. I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories, she nods, as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above, but I don't think those stories are true. Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? It's just capitalism, she shrugs. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail. Excellent point. Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies. Plaisance the bookshop lady? She raises her brows. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's what I'm here to investigate. All right, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. Hold on. The Whirling is part of the doomed commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. And then there's me. She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters. I've been here 14 years selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Especially since that is like, how many role players could there possibly be in this area? It's because she's in cahoots with the demons. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse. I was just about to ask. She leans forward in her chair to study your face. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real? The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Exactly. She pinches the root of her nose. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today? I'd like to order a die from you. Of course, she nods. This is what she's here for. Tell me what you have in mind. What kind of die do you think fits my personality? I think I have just the right one for you. She opens the top drawer of her work desk and takes something out. 2 polyhedrons, red and blue, are cradled in her palm. I don't get it. You're a police officer, right? Here, catch. She tosses you the dice. They're a gift from me. 83% chance. Let's catch them. Nice. We got icosahedral dice set sirens. Mr. Smooth moves. You snatch the dice out of the air with one hand, just like you're in a movie. Wink at the dice maker. What are the odds? The dice maker winks back at you. The red one is made of bloodstone with a lapis lazuli inlay, and the blue one is the inverse. I believe these dice are your lucky charm, officer. Ooh, could they be? She winked back at you. Can you believe it? You truly are Mr. Smooth Moves. You'll definitely need luck in Martinez. She closes her desk drawer. Was there anything else? My Shivers skill is very low. Apparently, according to that. I only have a 28% chance of passing that check. Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone. More or less, she adjusts the yellow scarf that covers her hair. Are you interested in anyone specific? Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure. There used to be a hair salon here, right? Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I guess it just wasn't the time yet. She tucks a strand of hair under her headscarf. What happened to the gym? It wasn't merely a gym. It was an Artemiteps boxing club, a community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drugs and crime. And who was Artemitep? A kind man from Ziemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Judging from the kids I've met so far, it didn't really work, did it? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. You should have known it. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. What's up with the broken windows? Oh, this one's a mess, she sighs. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieus. Who would have guessed? They never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Cool, very cool about the debris. What's a snuff milieu? It's a sub-rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. Jesus Christ. That's exactly what it sounds like. What does that mean, to get off on it? Don't worry. The ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub rosas. The lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. Then she lets the thought go. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. You mean Mr. Fabrin, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. But what drugs exactly? I need to know what drugs he was doing for my police report. He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful. Even you can probably do better than that. Thanks, electrochemistry. I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years until the insect rights activists came. Insect rights activists? What in the name of... The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. But insects don't have any brains or feelings. Actually, insects do have brains, she corrects you. But yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protest took it a little too far. Thank you. Thanks, Nia. As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her, legs up. They're not moving. Anything else? What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tuolua or Tio Mutiri or Kashtcore or wherever he is. Interesting. What do these transmissions say? The usual, I imagine, that he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you. Men like that are a curse. The lieutenant is stern. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long. I like that idea a lot, though. I found a strange machine. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over We're They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. What do you mean liberal? What happened? The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. What went wrong? Well, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtain on a cigarette break. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time. Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking. You're right. They should have tried hard. They should have just tried harder. They had everything they needed to succeed. Everything needed to succeed. Still, not everyone is going to make it. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk. That's the nature of the game. The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. Ooh. Ooh. Anything else? There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar. Oh boy. The fabled Revachol Ice City. You're in for a treat here. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story. The place was owned by 2 guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now, ask me about their other idea. All right, what was the other idea? Or what about the other ideas? Oh, other ideas. Sorry. There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. Frit does the same thing. I know a girl like that. She works in Frit as a cashier, and she's not particularly friendly. Employing sulky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol Ice City. And they already had the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear? The bear, she repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples, like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out? Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents apiece, out of regular fridges. The bear was scary. Every time I saw that bear, I felt scared, like it could come alive any moment now. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion. I love that name. Scary, but cool. Megatherion? Megatherion, nods the dice maker. Mega wild beast. What's a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly. Maybe this wise and noble beast can guide you towards those amphetamines you've been craving. I do drugs. I've got a vision beast myself. Do you? The dice maker raises an eyebrow. Well, good luck keeping it under control. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly. Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow. Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time. Actually, I had other questions. Why hasn't her business failed? Oh, shit. A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. I didn't expect to pass because I had such a low chance. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere. Hey, Nia, the curse is real, and I figured out why it has spared you. This is just a theory, but hear me out. I think I know why your business hasn't failed. Didn't we already talk about this? She asks as the wind continues to seep in through the cracks in the old chimney. Oh, well, I gotta cancel the timer. It's because you're not in the same building as the others. This isn't technically the doomed commercial area. What are you talking about? She says, shaking her head. My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10. No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up, yet it has a different address in the heart of the city. No, this used to be a coal plant. Touch the safety curtains. You're in a chimney of another building. This doesn't make any sense. She looks around the makeshift nest she has carved out for herself, bewildered. Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from? I'm just using logic. It's windy in here. You probably haven't properly sealed the chimney crown. She says, looking up. You're right. I should take a trip to the roof once the snow is gone. Does it mean that I'm safe from failure? Rest assured, no psychic attacks will reach you here. She starts laughing. Her fingers try to rub away the exhaustion from her face. What? Do you know what this is? She raises her hand to reveal a piece of metal shining on her index finger. Your lucky charm? Some kind of ward? It's a mourning ring, she replies. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it to the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan. Why are you telling me this? It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world, that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? She closes her eyes. That this was all because I didn't run my little shop and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney? Don't call it a dump. You've made it nice and cozy here. Yeah. She stares out of the window, not really hearing your words. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you wanted. True. That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be. You can try anything. Still, there's something inherently violent even about dice rolls. It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending, or an entirely different world. She picks up a pair of dice from the table and examines them under the light. Thought gained the precarious world. But anyway, thank you for sharing your theories, officer. She gives you a tired smile. You're welcome, Nia, and I will let you be for now. Powerful people, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, leave any comments you have for me in the comment section, and please share this video with anyone you think might like it. Until next time, powerful people, my name is Eli. You can call me Super Kid. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Peace and love.